Hey everybody, how you doing? How you doing on this actually in New York kind of nice Friday after a very stormy week? Very stormy week. Hey, how are you? I'm super excited today because I get to hang out and chat with Brax Fleming, who is the founder and owner and runs Stealth Bros and Co. And I'm just excited to get to chat to them about being in business for themselves and being an entrepreneur, and especially with this crazy year that we're having. So I'm sure they'll hop on here in a second and we will get to chatting because I have many questions. Many questions. I hope everybody is doing good. This is like, I feel like, I don't know, this week feels like it's a little bit better. I feel like last week was kind of crazy. I feel like it was a little bit nuts, at least for me anyway. There was something in the air. Everybody I talked to felt like they had good. All right. Brax is coming on in a second. Yep.
Hey,
Hi.
what's going on?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. I know how busy you are.
Oh my goodness. I'm like running around. But yeah, no,
I
it's a pleasure to be on. I'm really stoked to be here with you today.
I'm so happy to talk to you. So I think that I've known about your company for a while, primarily because I found out through Black Trans TV, and
Okay.
uh, and then like we met at NGLCC event. So we're both members of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, which is a super cool organization. Uh, and we also have a lot of mutual friends in common and a lot of crossover there. So
Yeah, that's the one blessing about the trans community. You know, we all know each other and everybody's a big family, so that's awesome.
yeah, it's so nice. So yeah, I have many questions for you. We're all in
Awesome.
this crazy time, and I feel like it's a really interesting time to be in a startup and to be the founder of an independent company, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I know quite a bit about your company, but just for people who don't know, so Brax is the founder and runs Stealth Bros and Co., which is a company that makes products for really anyone um, who needs to do injections. And one of my favorite things that you have are the sharp shuttles, because
Yes.
that's a cool item for anybody that needs to use injections. Just because if you're out and you're doing it, it's fine to have your container at home, but it's totally different if you're on the road or if you're having to go to work or whatever, and you need to have all of that portable. What's been sort of the evolution of this company for you? Like where did it start? How to get to now? Because you started in 2017, I want to say.
Correct. Yeah. So like basically how it got started or what?
Well,
Like that evolution of it?
I guess first, just for people who don't know, like how it got started, and then sort of what it's evolved into, because you've continued to make all these cool products and expand your offering.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it really all started from obsessing over YouTube as a young trans man. Just trying to figure out who I was, and I just saw that a lot of people didn't have anywhere to put their injections. Like everybody's talking about this medication. Side note, I'm also a nurse. That's my career that I do every day. So I'm looking and I see how like unorganized it is, and it's like making my OCD kick in. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, like what the hell's going on? But while I'm watching the videos, I wasn't really thinking like, oh, I'm going to create a business, blah, blah, blah. This was just something that was in my mind. And then one day I went to the local Marshall's TJ Maxx, and I saw a bag and I'm like, there's no bag for me. There's no bag for my stuff. So I was like, I'm going to create a bag. And this was like, I was like maybe 3-4 months on T. So this was like way before I even started to pursue Stealth Bros. And then it just got to the point where I was like making a lot of different like connections within the community because I was talking to a lot of people online. And I wanted to be a part of the community, but I didn't want to step on toes. I knew that people were selling t-shirts and have apparel brands and, you know, all different sorts of things. And I didn't want to do something where it would be like, you can pick mine or theirs. I wanted it to be something where we could all unite, because that's what I was looking for, like a brotherhood connection. And I didn't want people to feel like I was like this young trans guy coming in trying to, you know, step on anybody. So you know, that's when I was like, you know what, this would be great. You could hold my bag with your t-shirt or your hat with my bag or blah, blah, blah. And, you know, once I hit a year on T, I actually like had this huge breakup and my life went crazy. And I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I felt like my life was like getting like coastal and stagnant. So I said, you know what, I'm going to really pursue this. So then I just one day just started going hard on the computer, and one thing led to another. And that's pretty much how Stealth Bros was born. And then at that point, I knew that coming out had to be strong. So that's when I had reached out to one of my good friends at the time, and they had got me some really great photography, and I put all that together, put it out there, and then boom, Stealth Bros just like took off. And originally, I just wanted to sell for a year because I just wanted to get enough funds for my top surgery and then move forward with my life, you know, like everybody else. But it happened to be such a need and a demand that it just took over. So now it's like, not only do transgender individuals need this product, but like people who have diabetes, people who are going through IVF therapy, you're on B12 injections, you have MS, you have to take your MS medication injections. Like there's a lot of different people who are like, I have this little ugly black bag the pharmacy gave me, or, you know, just in the regular paper bag. And they don't have something that can suit them. So that's where Stealth Bros comes in and has been really dominating, because there's really no other brand that specializes in making like luxury medical doc kits. So that's where I just slid right in there, and I'm just trying to ride that wave, you know, for life.
Well, yeah, and I mean the thing about it too is, I mean, and your kids, especially the junior ones, like have they have these compartments, right? So everything is
Yes.
really easily defined. It has places for like the little tiny jars. It has your spots for the actual syringes, you know, and
Yes.
there's a lot of components. It's like when I first started injecting testosterone, I was like, well, first of all, I was like, I don't even know if I can do this, because I
Right.
had never given myself a shot in my whole life. And then on top of that, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to know. And I was so scared at first too, and unorganized, that I ended up having to go back to the nurse and have her do it again for me, like even after she showed me the first time, and I was so embarrassed.
Right.
But
Right.
in doing that, I realized, okay, I need to like get a system. I have my like, at-home system, but I actually now, I mean, I haven't been traveling very much, but I had started scheduling everything that I would do it on Thursday, and that way, if I went away for the weekend, I went for 4 days, which is usually I get to go anywhere. I wouldn't need
Right.
I'd be gone. And now that my schedule has shifted, so I just went on and I actually bought one of the Sharp shuttles because I really need that in general, just for going around town. And then and got one of the juniors in the orange because I love orange. They
Yeah.
are such great colors, like such great colors. But
I
yeah,
know.
there's
Yeah.
you have a drawing needle, and then you have the needle that you actually use in your body, and you're a nurse, so you know. But to somebody who
Right.
literally has nothing to do with any of that, it's like, what am I doing? So it's a really nice way, I feel like, to get yourself organized from the
Yes.
start, and to feel
Yeah.
prepared, so that it takes that part of the stress away from it.
Right, absolutely. And it's crazy that you mentioned that, because it's like, for me, that's also why I started Tea Talks too, because for me, a lot of things that it's like second nature because I've been a nurse for almost 11 years now in January. So it's like all these little things I felt were easy to me. But then as I created the junior DOP, because obviously we start out with the regular toiletry DOP kit bag that can hold like all the bulk supplies. But that was just like the kickstart. And then once I started to like listen to the people and hear what they needed, I said, no, we need something more organized to keep everything together. So then that's when the junior DOP came about, and I call it the junior because it's my baby. So it's like my baby that I created, and yeah, and like pretty much it was just like filling that need for like not only for travel, like you said, but to just keep organized right at home. And then you can keep it on your dresser. It doesn't look like, nasty or anything. And nobody knows what it is if you don't want them to know what it is. And that's like the true meaning behind stealth, is just like to keep your medical things for you, at the end of the day. But it's been awesome. I love stealth, bro. I'm still flabbergasted that I did this. I'm still like, who did this? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird, like, because I love it so much. It's just like, wow, like this is something people really like. When I get messages and people are like, oh, you made my day easier, or oh, I felt so much more comfortable flying, and like all these things just like push me harder to like go deeper, and like, what do we really need? What can I upgrade on it to make it better for the next collection, or whatever the case may be. So it's been really fun and awesome this entire time.
Yeah, and that element, that component of privacy, because it's like, it is one of those things that, and not just about testosterone, but for anybody who's taking medication, that too. If you're going with a group somewhere, or going with family members or whatever, like that
Right.
essence, that privacy, and just having it look like this really sleek, really pretty travel case. It's that, what I mean? It doesn't look medical or like it's something that you want to hide. It's like, oh yeah, it's just stuff. And no one would even think twice about it, which is amazing. It's like,
Right. Right.
yeah, it's so smart. I love it.
Thank you so much. I'm ecstatic about it too. It's really awesome. It's been really fun just creating and just doing everything. I can't even explain it to you. I can't even put it into words like how everything is. It's very busy now for me, but it's a beautiful thing, and I'm just really happy that I'm doing something that people need, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not like, we all need somewhere to put our stuff at. And like, if you can put it somewhere nice, like why not have that available to you? So I think that's awesome.
Totally. I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Like so as an entrepreneur, because it's all great and it's all fun and games, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and you've had to work
Right.
really hard and put a ton of time, and there's so much energy and effort that goes into literally every component of starting a business, and especially a direct to consumer, like customer facing website, all the things that go behind it. And you know our companies have been in pitch competitions, fun. And you've spoken on our platform before with Lex Horowitz, who I love. They're adorable.
Love. Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the entrepreneurship part of that. And because I think a lot of people don't know, like unless people actually sit and talk about it, or they have access to someone who does a startup, I think a lot of people have great ideas, but they kind of don't know where to go about it. And there's so many sections of it. And, obviously there's the website, there's photography for the website, sourcing the product, how are you going to make everything? But the part that we're in now, both of our companies, that's so intense but kind of fun and awesome, is in when you start, looking for fundraising, outside fundraising, and you start doing pitches and start really promoting the entity and trying to get investors. And that's its own that's its own crazy arena itself.
Yes.
But to ask you, so when you sort of realized that you wanted to move into that section of it and start doing pitches and really package your company to take it to the next level, what were some of the things that you did to prepare for that?
Honestly, it's really hard to put like one thing on it or say this is what I did. But one thing I do know that's like very simplistic is just that you have to not be afraid to speak to people. And like that's the main thing is like you have to put yourself out there as much as it hurts and as much as you may not be sociable. Like people see me on my personal page and on here and they're like, "Oh my God, Brax, you could probably do anything." But like when I get into that room at NGLCC and there's 300 corporate partners and there's a lot of cis gay males that are walking around, specifically white gay males, I'm like, what I mean, I'm a little nervous because these people have a lot of money. I feel like I'm a small fish, and I feel like I may not fit into that room, which is something I'm mentally working on currently still. But ultimately it's all about just like I never know what I'm going to do next, and that's probably one of the best parts about business. I don't know what's going to happen next for me, but I do know that having this live with you, someone might see this and want to reach out to me, and then that's my next step. So I always try to look at everything in that manner. So like if there's any event or if there's any, right now it's mostly webinars and Zooms. So as long as I can keep getting my foot in the door in the Zooms, if I can attend webinars, anywhere where I can get seen or noticed, where somebody may be attracted to what Stealth Bros offers, that's my next step. And that's how I ended up being on the Eureka pitch and, doing things like that. It's not because I really said, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to find investors. Now I'm going to start pitching. It was never like that for me. It's always been the next step, whatever the next step is. I don't know what my next step is right now. I just know that I have some meetings at the end of the month that may put me somewhere else. And you know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking forward to. But like, aside from that, I'm really big in prayer and I'm very big on like self meditation. So like ever since last year, I knew that the business has been not stagnant, but it's been coasting at one level. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting all the effort into the content, the Instagram, the social medias. What can I do now? Do I hire outside marketing agencies? Do I find investors like you talked about? So I'll manifest on those things. I'll constantly like envision myself shaking hands and signing papers. Like that's what I do until it happens. And then it just happens because I've thought about it and visualized it so much. Even if I can't see a face, I see an arm, I watch a paper, a dollar sign, whatever I feel as though that I want. And then I just keep working until someone offers that to me. I know that sounds probably wild as hell to people, but that's honestly how I run my business. I just pray hard as hell every day. I have an alarms on my phone where I pray every day. I envision, I manifest, and then I just work, and that's it. I mean, that's a lot for a lot of people, but that's the way that people win. You have to just continue wanting it. You have to cry for it, sometimes. And that's just what I do. You know what I mean? I just cry for it, I pray for it, and I just try to talk to everybody. I try to network my ass off and try to make sure that I speak to everybody. I don't care if you have 200 followers and you're starting a business and you want to work with me. I don't care if you have one follower. I want to work with you because I know that you're one person who may see another person for me, and I'm always chasing that. So that's why I just do everything. That was a lot, probably. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. But I think you touched on a couple super important things that I don't know if everybody would think about that I want to highlight, which is that openness to the unknown is huge because
Yeah.
in startups and building something from scratch, it's like you can't predict. There is no way to predict what's going to happen or just know, like you can't map it out too far in advance. You can have goals and you can say, this is where I'd like to go, but that journey might, zigzag or an unexpected connection that you make. And then all of a sudden you're getting the opportunity to be on this webinar and it's amazing how it happens that way, right? It's like you put
Absolutely.
the end thing that you want out there, and then being open to sort of how you're going to get there, because you can't predict it, because
Right.
it is that essence of just being like, nope, I'm just putting myself out there, and I'm going to leave space for these things to come to me, and then I'm going to jump on the opportunity when I see it, you know?
Absolutely. And that's exactly how I do it. I just work until they say, "Oh, you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to do that." I don't care how big it is, how small it is. I want to do it because ultimately I know that's what's going to push me to the next level. So, like I always preach, just stay consistent. And anything that you do in life, just stay consistent. Like as long as you keep doing it, there's gonna be something that comes from it. If you stop doing it, you may have just stopped. Like this short. Like my dad sends me this meme like every month, and it's a meme of a little guy, and he's like digging, right? And he's
Mhm.
digging, and then the guy at the top, he's digging, and then he stops, and you see him turn around with his head down, he's crying because he's been working so hard day and night every single day for X amount of days. But he stops. And right where he stops, there's only 2 feet left to the gold. And then the guy at the bottom, he keeps going and he gets to the gold. So like my dad, he reinforces that in me. He's always pushing me and like just telling like if you just stay consistent, you will get where you want to go. If you stop, you're not going to make it. So I'm just like I have this like I call it a train, and my train doesn't stop. So if you want to get off my train, it doesn't matter. My vision is going to continue moving. So
Yeah.
that's just how I've been working my business.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I always say in my head, it's like, and I used to say it to my kids all the time too when they were growing up. I was like, well, you'll never get what you don't ask for, because
That's
it's
true too. Closed mouths don't get fed.
it out there. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
That same thing. It's like you're so close. You could be so close. Like it could be that next thing is the thing. Like that's the break. And
Right.
so don't ask for it, and you don't say, "No, I'm going after this." And then just keep pushing forward even when it, and especially when it feels really tough, or you hit like a block, or you hit something that's just like, "Oh my god, how am I going to deal with this?" And just but as long as you just sit there, even if you sit with it and you're not, you just have to sit with it for a second. The instinct of just going forward and not giving up. Just whatever you do, don't give up. Don't stop.
Right. And just like a word of advice to anybody who's watching is that when I'm like down, like when I'm like, oh God, I can't take it anymore. And I'm like, I just don't, some days I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like answering questions. I don't feel like talking. Like there's days that do happen like that, or periods of time, I should say. It could be a couple weeks. It could be a week. And I just remind myself that like that's just God for me. My universe is just humbling myself to bring me down so that I can shoot up. So I always think of it like that, like the ping pong, whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
And I just know, and so when I'm really feeling down, I'm like, oh my God, a big blessing is about to come because I'm being pulled all the way down. So the harder I'm getting down, even right now, I feel like that sometimes. And I'm like, because I know a very big blessing is coming. And as long as you keep thinking like that, it will happen. It's everything is a mental game, honestly. And if you just keep envisioning what you want, then that next step will happen for you. Well, it might not be exactly how you thought it, but some way, somehow, you'll get there if you stay consistent, like you said.
Yeah, it's true. And I think with startups in general and your own business, it's I think the hardest thing is that consistent self motivation, because there are, life happens. Your whole life is happening around you, and like kids, family, work, all these things,
Right.
and being able to just know, like you're saying, just knowing, like, nope, this is just a moment. This is something that I have to just be with this, and we're going to break through it. Something amazing is going to happen, and sometimes that literally is all you have to cling to, like because
Yeah,
everything's
I
crazy.
seriously, seriously,
Yeah.
seriously.
So I don't want to keep it super long because I know your family is waiting for you. But I want to ask, So what's next for, you talked about this and about your company and moving forward and staying open to possibilities and networking. What's sort of the next step that is your goal? And, is there anything that Play Out can be doing to be helpful to you?
Honestly, my goal is just continue reaching as many trans individuals as I possibly can, because that's what this business was really founded on. And I really want to stay true to that. And I actually, I've been talking to a lot of different mentors through NGLCC, and, you know, it's been hard for me because I've been getting a reality check like Stealth Bros is great, but it's great for this insulin company. It's great for this. It's great for that. And it's like they're pulling away from what the core foundation of what Stealth Bros is all about. And, that was a big pill for me to swallow, because I'm like, I'm not taking no deals unless it's for like trans people only. You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to maximize on that. But one thing I've learned is that, it's not about you as the owner, it's about the consumer and who wants your product. And if these people want this product and they're the ones who are willing to lift it off the ground in order to get me in a position where I can shine light on my community, then that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So that's been hard for me, but ultimately, like, that's my goal, is just like expanding Stealth Bros, being able to be in different departments, even guys, cis men who are on testosterone that, that need it because of hormonal imbalances and things of that nature. Like, I want to make sure that I hit every single category possible to just move forward. And that's pretty much like the main goal, is just, I really don't have an end goal. I just want to move forward. Like, as long as I'm moving forward, I really don't really care where it goes. I just want to continue moving forward. So like what you guys could do possibly for me is just like, I guess, like, just continue like having dialogue and like sharing the word, and just, us working together, maybe put a collab together or something like that, get some content out there,
Oh yeah.
and just let the people know about us, so they know about Play Out NYC, they know about Stealth Bros Co, and we just work together. And that's just like my ultimate goal for Stealth Bros, is just, I just want to work with everybody. It's more like a hangout, I guess, for me personally, because I enjoy it. I love it. I love business. So it's not really like, oh God, I got to go to this meeting, or, oh God, I got to have this interview. Like, I'm pumped about these things. Like, I'm ready to go. And, I could wake up at 4 a.m. and drive to New York and be at a bunch of meetings all day, because that's just how much I enjoy just getting to the next level. So that's pretty much my goal, is just getting to the next level, whatever level that is.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I can't say enough about, I mean, I think you're amazing. I can't say enough about you and about this product. Anybody who hasn't checked it out, even if it's not necessarily for you, but it might be somebody that you love or somebody that you know, it also great. I already in my head have like 4 people I want to give these to. Um,
Right.
but definitely check out Stealth Bros and Co. And I'm telling you, like, for anybody who has to do any type of injection, these, like, the Doc Junior, like, with all of the everything divided so you can keep everything super organized, and the Sharp shuttle. So it's this literally this individual hard container that is small enough to go into these pouches, but that can you can put your used syringe and needles in, which is the hardest part, right? When you're traveling, it's like, well, having it when it's packaged is fine, but once you've actually done your injection, it's like, well, this is biohazardous waste. Like, where am I going to put this? And that,
Right.
that you have to think about if you're using any type of syringe medication, but especially, like testosterone, you can't not take your testosterone once you're on it. Like, you will have big problems. It has to happen. So it's this huge priority, and they're really lovely. They look very stylish. The colors are fantastic. As I said, I'm like obsessed with orange. Um, but I really encourage people to go and check it out, to check you out. And I I'm so thankful that we are, running in the same community, and Yeah, I would love to do a collab. I'd love anything that Play Out can be doing to help as well and to get the message out there, because I really think it's an awesome product, and it is, as we know, our community is underserved anyway. And if somebody else, if some big company was doing this, would probably be the last category of people they would ever think of that would do
Right,
something. And it's like, this is part of our life. It's part of a lifestyle, and it's not
right,
going away. Once you start taking it, you want to be on it, it's happening.
right, right.
About
Yeah,
incorporating it in your life, and why not do it in a way that's stylish and subtle, and
makes you
just,
feel good.
yeah, just makes you feel good. It's just part of your everyday journey. So I love it.
And just a sneak peek, we're going to be bringing on at-home sharp containers as well soon. That's what I'm working on.
Nice.
In like different colors, not your regular reds and oranges and things of that nature, like more like, greens and blues and
Oh,
obviously black. So like we want to make sure that when you're at home too, like obviously you'll have like, your danger and your hazard sticker on there for safety reasons, but it'll be a lot more stylish. It'll be something that you don't mind keeping on your dresser if you have to, or keeping away. So that's something that Stealth Bros is working on next for everybody, because a lot of people don't like their bulky orange or their big milk jugs. So we're
yeah.
working on making sure that we have something nice for right at home on your desk, or wherever you may keep it.
Oh yeah. I'm, I'm so excited for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, cool. Well, thank you again so much for spending some time. And I feel like, we this is, our sort of second collab on this platform, but I feel like it's just the start of something awesome. So I am
Yes.
looking forward to doing more stuff. Maybe we put together a promo. Maybe we,
Amen. Let's do it. We can do something. We can do something.
yeah,
You got my line. Let's make it happen, Captain.
yeah, let's do it. All
All
right.
right.
So
All
much.
right. Peace out, everybody. Much love.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too.